For a company, the question of how much to order carries a lot of significance. When a company stocks its product, it encounters certain costs associated with it. There are two categories of costs associated with inventory: cost of ordering and cost of carrying. Let's look at these two types of costs in detail. First of all, cost of ordering. A company typically starts by identifying suppliers from whom they can order. Then the company starts negotiating with suppliers to arrive at a common ground with respect to price, delivery terms, payment terms, etc., and would select a supplier based on its need fulfillment. Then the order is given to the supplier. Before the receipt of material from the supplier, there will be a quality check to evaluate the quality of raw material. The cost involved in steps right from identifying a supplier to checking the materials inside the warehouse constitutes the cost of ordering. Typically, a cost of ordering consists of manpower costs such as personnel working with the supplier to negotiate terms, infrastructure costs such as usage of company vehicles for transfer of materials, logistic costs such as company employees visiting the suppliers, and so on. Let's see how cost of ordering can be calculated. The total ordering cost is equal to the product of the cost per order and the total orders. To derive the total orders, you need to divide the demand by order size. So, if Q0 is the cost per order, D is the demand and Q is the order size. The total ordering cost would be equal to Q0 multiplied by D divided by Q. Thus, for a company like HUL, the ordering costs would include first the cost of preparing a purchase order to be given to a supplier. Next, the cost of labor required for inspecting goods when they are received. Another, the cost of processing raw materials once they have been received at HUL gate. Note that the payment to suppliers will not be part of this cost. The next cost would be the cost of carrying. The second type of cost that is associated with inventory stocking is incurred when the company's inventory is in the company's warehouse. This cost is known as inventory carrying cost. So, once the company has received raw materials from the suppliers, they need to store it in their warehouse or factory. The interest from the locked up capital, that is, the interest that could be earned if the amount spent on inventory is kept in a bank account, is a component of inventory carrying costs. The area where the goods are stored have different costs, such as the rent of the warehouse, the cost of electricity, the insurance against damage of stocks, etc. All these costs form part of the head called inventory carrying costs. If C is carrying cost per unit and Q is the order size, then cost of carrying is equal to carrying cost per unit multiplied by average inventory. In this case, the assumption is that the entire inventory has been used for fulfillment of the order, and thus the closing inventory is 0 or nil. Hence, the average inventory, which is the average of opening inventory and closing inventory, is Q plus 0 divided by 2, or it is equal to Q divided by 2. Thus, the total carrying cost is C multiplied by Q divided by 2. For an ice cream manufacturer, the carrying cost could be of three types. First, the electricity consumed by the cold storage unit where the inventory is stored. In case the company decides to store its inventory in an external warehouse, the rent of the warehouse becomes a component. Second, the cost of employees operating the forklifts to move inventory inside the warehouse. And the third one, the cost of insurance taken by the ice cream manufacturers to protect the company from losses because of damaged goods. Inventory ordering cost and carrying costs are like two sides of a weighing scale. If one pan is down, the other is up, which can be illustrated by the curve. Total inventory costs would be the sum of total ordering cost and total carrying costs. In a formula, it can be Q naught multiplied by D divided by Q plus C multiplied by Q divided by 2. The point at which the curve for the cost of ordering and the cost of carrying intersect each other is the point where the total cost of inventory is the minimum. So, by equating both the cost, we get Q is equal to square root of 2 multiplied by Q naught multiplied by D divided by C. The cost pertaining to Q would be the optimum cost of inventory. This point is known as economic order quantity. Economic order quantity is the optimum quantity of goods to be purchased at one time in order to minimize the annual total cost of ordering and carrying or holding items in inventory.